Oh, I should probably get you. Okay, I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I was doing a thing where I was listening to my audio, but I will not be doing that today because that was kind of annoying. Also, I realized I think my audio from the last stream I did maybe like an hour ago was was probably not using my microphone audio. It was picking up my laptop audio. So let me get this mirrored so we can do some art while I do a little fun Q&A. Let me pull up some questions that we can talk about while we are here. Okay, so these are just some random questions. Okay, let's just go with some crafting questions because I am a crafter. So, my first question that I have here is what inspired you to start crafting? My inspiration to getting into crafting was I've always been interested in crafting as a whole ever since. Right back. We're not doing this. We are not doing this. Say hi to the camera. Hello. Okay, you're gonna go hang out with Brandon. I'm just gonna have my whole pitcher of tea with me while I drink out of a wine glass because I feel fancy. Okay, headsets on. Oop. Okay, left and right. What if I feel like the camera looks nicer on my camera versus my laptop? Oh well. Okay, so back to the whole question about like what inspired me to get into crafting. The biggest thing was that I did a lot of crafting growing up. I was really into duct tape back in the fifth grade, and I think my biggest inspiration back then was like So Craftastic, which I think she's been like on and off YouTube a lot, but she was definitely a big inspiration in my crafting journey. Another one when I was in my duct tape phase was the duct tape stuff. That was definitely somebody used to watch. I don't know where he's at now, and I would love to know what happened to him because he just one day just stopped making duct tape videos. But he was definitely cool back in the day. What just happened? But yeah, definitely I've been crafting since I was, in elementary school, and I just loved making all sorts of things with my hands, and so that's kind of come with me into my adulthood. Nothing too crazy, of course, but definitely something I did enjoy as a child. Okay, let's see what the next question I have. What is your favorite craft to do right now? Oh, that's a good one. I've been doing more art than actual crafting as of right now, so that's kind of a me problem. But I did film a video that I need to edit and post or whatever where I tried sculpting clay stuff for the first time, and that was a lot of fun. I haven't really done polymer clay crafts before, and that's what it was. And I thought it came out cute. I mean, I'm not great at it. I feel like sculpting takes a bit for you to actually get good at it, but totally doable. What just happened? Totally doable though. I feel like with a lot of crafts you get better with practice. A lot of the times when I get into my crafts is I will get good at it for a short period of time. Like there was a period of time where I was doing wreath making for a while and I don't know why I was like really into that, but it was something I was doing for like a few months for like the different holidays. Ooh, what happened? Uh-oh. I just lost my art stream. Hello, viewer. I'm trying to get my art back up and going. Um, I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart my iPad. Uh, where was I? Oh yeah, about the whole crafting thing. I'm right now doing a Q&A, and my Q&A was like, "What's my favorite craft right now?" And it's been this whole art thing that I'm doing. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of the crafts I get into, I like go through a hyperfixation of working on them for a while, and then I'll get bored of it. But I like to. I feel like the phrase that best describes me is the master of all trades, master of, or jack of all trades, but master of none. Because I like to pick up a craft to the point of where I'm like good enough, and then if I need it in the future for a project, then I can pull it out of like my back pocket. Okay, we got the thing up. And for some reason, whenever it just stops mirroring, I have to. Okay, 6712. But I do hope that answered that question. How long have you been crafting? Since I was a kid. I love crafting. Do you sell your crafts or do you do them for fun? Okay, so I have been asked that. Oh, there's my boyfriend. Um, I have been asked this if I would ever sell my crafts. Like an example is I got really into plushie making back in like 2019, and I'm not talking about like the amigurumi, but just plushie making in general. And a lot of people are asking me if this was something I would ever like sell or whatever. And personally, I don't feel like my stuff is good enough for me to sell because I have given some of my stuff away to friends. And I can't guarantee if a plushie has good stitching. I'm really bad at doing the ladder stitch. I'm really bad at like doing the ladder stitch and something I like I said that's something I definitely need to work on. But like I said, it's good enough for when I need something for a project, but sewing is not my strong suit. So I don't know if I would ever sell any of my crafts. I don't feel like they're good enough for selling. There was a period of time where I did have a small business on Etsy where I think I got like a total of like 13 orders within like a 5 month period selling sublimation coasters because it's like how do you mess that up? It's I feel like it's very hard to mess that up because sublimation is where you can infuse like an image onto a polyester base and once it's infused it's pretty much there forever unless it's like a t-shirt and that might fade over time but yeah um but I don't know I just my problem was that I was trying to balance content creation with trying to do like TikTok and what was another thing? Oh yeah, like TikTok, YouTube, and just trying to balance out all these different crafts, and I just didn't have time to do them. Which again, totally, me. I just don't have the attention span, and I tried it. It was fun. I liked getting my orders. I also feel like I wasn't making enough compared to like what the item was worth. For like a set of four coasters, I think I marketed them at like $18 for four, which sounds great, but then you also have to remember there's a listing cost. Etsy takes some fees. I think I was doing like free shipping. So like really I was making no money and I'm not really into these things for the money. I just like making crafts. So I don't know, I just, and the other thing too is if I were to ever sell anything, like I would price it at what I would pay for a thing personally. And there are some things that I think are reasonably priced, but there are other things I'm like, that is way out of budget. Like that's crazy. I'm like, that would have taken you like 20 minutes, but you're selling it for like 300, $400. A little out there. And I'm like, you have to think about the consumer in the end, like for the consumer product. So I don't know. It's just too much headache for me. Something yeah, I don't know if I'd ever go back to selling stuff like that. What is your biggest crafting fail? Ooh. My biggest crafting fail probably has to be most of my cosplays. Like I mentioned before, I'm really bad at sewing, And recently I went to an anime convention here in Dallas called WeebCon. I think it was out in Irving, called WeebCon. And I was working on an Anya cosplay, and I ran into an issue where I think there was a lot of fitting issues with I was doing her school uniform, and I was having a lot of issues with like trying to get her costume to fit, but I think I got it to fit well enough. And then my cat, I left it out overnight because it was already like 3 in the morning, and I had to be up at like 7 to like start getting ready. And I was like, okay, well, I'll finish like any final touches in the morning, like finishing the raw edges and whatever. And I have a cat. Anytime I do something, he loves to be involved, and he decided to be involved with my cosplay. So the next day, I wasn't able to actually wear the cosplay. I was a little bummed, but luckily, I had things in my closet that worked out. So, and everybody loved their cosplay. So, uh, but that was probably my most recent one. I don't know if there's anything else like that, but favorite place to get craft supplies. Okay, so before Joann's like went bankrupt and was still up and kicking, I love to go to Joann's for like their yarn and their fabrics. That was, they had some good stuff over there. Um, since they're not going out of business and there's really no other like major fabric places that exist, I go to the fabric district to get some of my fabrics, which is an area in downtown Dallas somewhere off of Harry Hines. I don't know where that is in relations to in Dallas, but I know it's in Dallas somewhere. And they have a lot of fabric for cheap, and it's not overpriced, and I think it's really nice. So I like to go there sometimes to get some of my fabrics. I know Walmart for a while had a lot of like really good cotton selection, or had a really good cotton selection. And so that was definitely a place I would go to get some craft supplies. Now if I just need like generic craft supplies, I'd probably go to Michael's or Walmart or Amazon, whichever is feeling the cheapest at that time or convenient. Because sometimes you can't get certain things online or you can't get some things in store. Um, what's your dream collab or project? I would love to do a collab with Mariah Elizabeth. I know it's like a very far-fetched dream, and I don't know if it'll ever actually happen just because I've been following her for so many years. Like before she started getting like super big, I think I've been watching her since like 2016 when she put out like her first like how to make a squishy video. And that was like when squishies were kind of blowing up within like the squishy community because I used to watch a lot of people like decorate squishies, but that would definitely be a dream. I'm just not big enough. I am very small in comparison to her. So I may never make it to the point of where she would recognize me or even see me, but I would love to do a collab with her. I would also love to do a collab with Delightful, like doing doll customizations, but I probably need to like be good at doll customizing. Maybe we could do like an art swap. That would be really fun. Who else do I like out there? I would really just want to collab with crafters or maybe even artists. I would be down. I just want to meet people and like have things in common with because it's kind of hard to meet people in person that are my age with the things I like to do. Like, I feel like crocheting has become also like an old lady hobby, but still, I kind of find it hard to relate to somebody for like crocheting or sewing a project or I don't know. It's kind of hard to find people in person that I know, but those would be some fun collabs. Um, do you script your videos or do you wing it? So for a while I was let me make you pink. For a while I was trying to script them, but then I felt like they were very unnatural and not really me. So now I'm just kind of getting an outline and I'm just kind of winging it and I just figure it out in the editing process. So if there's something I said that I liked, I may re-record that or re-say that. But I'm kind of bad at talking, but I'm trying to get over that. I'm trying to practice my whole improving skills, and I think I might try to take some kind of improv classes to help with this. But yeah, no, I think scripting it is good. I can't read for the life of me. Like I can't read something as it's going because I was looking at getting a teleprompter for a second there, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like my content is enough that I could probably wing it. I think the only time I might script it if I'm doing like a tutorial, but it's just more like basic guidelines or whatever. But when it comes to like, you know, uh what's a crafting video I've done? Um, oh shoot, now tea everywhere. Tea time. That's what I should call this. I should just call this tea time with Meg or Megan, whatever you guys want to call me. Shoot, what was I saying? What was my question? Oh yeah, if they wing it or not. Yeah, I can't read for the life of me. Now I think scripting's probably good for some people, but not me. Any tips for beginner crafters? Um, I would say try to find something that may like excite you or something that you really want to get into. So like, if you're really into like I want to crochet or I want to get into sewing, like start with that. Like don't feel like pressured by everything and just kind of like work with stuff that you might, like I don't know. Hold up, I forgot what color I want to do. Yeah, so I would definitely start off with something that you really enjoy. So, like, if you think that you may want to start making plushies, figure out what kind of medium you want to work with. And like I told you guys, like, it's gonna take practice. I know a lot of people get discouraged. Like, that was me with art, was I was very discouraged at actually trying to be good at it. And I kept like, okay, well, I'm gonna try this, and I would do it for 2 days, and then I'm like, oh, this sucks, and then I would stop. But then I started showing my boyfriend, who's actually pretty good at art. I'll have to try to find some pieces of his and share it with you guys someday. But it was something I definitely wanted to, I was like, it felt like a blockade for a lot of the stuff I wanted to do. And like, if I can't do art, I can't do anything else. And that's where I'm at today, is just keep doing it. Someday I'll actually be good. I don't feel like I'm good now. Like, my hands are like super wonky. I feel like these hands came out okay. That's something I'm working on, is like anatomy and body and stuff like that. Like, I was trying to get away with like not doing hands. Let me try to find a hand that just looked bad. I mean, look at those hands. These hands are really bad. But, the goal is that someday I'll actually like look back at this and be like, let me redraw that and, be good. But yeah, just don't worry about, being perfect at the start of it. Just try to do it and just keep going from there. Being like, okay, well, I tried to do this or I tried to do that. This is where I did bad or this is where I did good. So definitely my advice for that is just practice makes perfect and just start with stuff that you think you might like. And, like cosplay, that's a lot of techniques. You need to know how to maybe work with foam or 3D print or sewing. And, if you're sewing your cosplay together, you can use a Cricut machine with HTV to, expand that. So there's a lot of different ventures you can do. Uh, but yeah. What is next for my channel? Well, I don't know. I keep bouncing around with what I want to do. I feel like I've been focusing more on my vlogging channel right now because I've had quite a few videos like in the backlog that I'm really trying to get through. So definitely that for right now. I think I have 2 more convention vlogs that I gotta get to. What is one of them? Don't want to do green. Did purple. We did pink. Shoot. Am I running out of colors? Oh, that's no good. I don't know what color to do. Light green? Sure, let's do light green. But yeah, so what's next for my channel is I was trying to do stuff on a consistent schedule, and I feel like I just don't have it in me with the amount of projects I'm going back and forth between. Like for this summer, I'm going to be working on a game jam, so I might be working on more content for that. So really, it's just going to be like on how I feel. But, even when I post some of these videos, the ones I feel like I'm actually putting, a lot of effort into, like I'm not getting much, but, there's a lot of ideas for things I want to do, and, you know, I I feel like I have a backlog of different projects I want to work on. It's just you know, on top of working a full-time job, with a very busy schedule of, seeing people and, I have trips coming up and sometimes my work requires travel. I just don't feel like I have time for all of it. So honestly, I'm just going to take it day by day, have fun. Like I'm not too worried about like making it as a big creator. I'm vibing over here. If you guys want to watch my stuff, like Mariah Elizabeth and Delightful, they really like to like they don't like to push being like, "Oh, subscribe to me. We need you to subscribe." What is going on? Let me, you know, they don't harp on please subscribe to me and they're like desperate for that. I'm like, if you're gonna subscribe to me, like you'll do it because you want to watch me again. So that's why I don't harp on that. And I know that that's probably, causing me to get less subscribers, but honestly, I hate when other creators are like, subscribe to me, smash that like button, do this, do that. I'm like, you are gonna like the video if you want to like the video. I personally don't like a lot of videos unless I know it's something that I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna look back at this, but I really like this creator or whatever the case is. So that's a personal thing, but most of the time I just watch your video. Um, but it's just I don't know. I'm all over the place. I gotta, figure out what the heck I want to do because I have no idea. Let me see. What's a craft you've always wanted to try but haven't yet? Ooh, that's a good one. What's a craft I haven't done? Hmm. I just spilled tea on my iPad. Needle felting. Needle felting would be really fun to try. I think I picked up a kit for that. I just haven't had time to film that video yet, but needle felting would be a lot of fun. What's the other thing? Hydro dip, is that what they call it? I'm not really sure what that thing is called, but it's like acrylic pouring and stuff like that is stuff I would love to try, but it's very messy. So I may not ever do that in this lifetime, but definitely something worth checking out at some point in the future. If you could only use one crafting supply for a week, what would it be? Ooh, I want to say yarn, but I don't like yarn that much. I don't know, just kind of depends on what kind of kick I would be on. Right now, I would love to just get clay and do a bunch of clay pieces. That would be a lot of fun. So, my response to that is clay or polymer clay or any type of clay. What's a random fact about you most people don't know? Ooh. So, I was actually in the world's Guinness record book for for a duct tape fashion show back in 2012, I think, at the Duct Tape Festival in Avon, Ohio. So, yeah, not a lot of people knew that I was part of that. I was really into duct tape, like a lot. Like I told you guys earlier about like my inspirations and stuff like that. And that was just kind of my thing. I actually did a cosplay for Hatsune Miku out of duct tape. That was probably one of my favorite things that I've done, and I worked like day and night on that. That was a really fun costume to put together. Let me see. Let's say random. What's your go-to comfort movie or show while crafting? Ooh. Um, Let me see. What's my battery at? Okay, very good. Comfort show. Probably, oh, that's a good one. My comfort show for watching while crafting is probably The 100. I've watched that show so many times while I've been like working on stuff. And at this point, I can pretty much watch the show without needing to like look at the screen, or I can, look up every so often and I'll actually know what's going on because again, I've seen that show so many times. I'm like, I love that show so much. I'm trying to think of another show that I would do that. Um, it's another show. Jane the Virgin's another good show. I'm over here like, spitting out the CW shows. Naruto, probably the OG series. I would probably be another one. I've watched that show a lot. I'm still trying to get through Shippuden. Shippuden's taken me a bit. I think I'm up to like episode 50, which is funny because I've kind of bounced between. Naruto and Boruto, and which, by the way, the time skip for Boruto is quite a thing. Like, I'm like, yo, I really hope they don't butcher this when it comes to them animating it. So I'm very excited for the time skip. I know I didn't really answer it other than the 100, but definitely the 100 is my favorite go-to show. Oh, is there a movie? I don't really watch movies while I'm crafting. What's the weirdest or most unexpected item you've crafted with? Um, I want to say duct tape, but that's not that weird. Um, what is the most unexpected thing I've actually crafted with? I don't know. Maybe melting crayons? That's something I've been viral for on the internet before. I'll do another video talking about all the times I've been viral on the internet for melting crayons on stuff. That's kind of a weird medium, I guess. Probably not the weirdest one out there, but what is one thing that you need in your workspace to stay focused? Uh, Nothing, because I can never stay focused. Like ever. If your life were a cozy game, what would your character's job be? Okay, I kind of thought about this, but not really. I'm gonna give more of an example of like if I was living in an MMO, I would totally be like a blacksmith or a crafter. Like that would be my go-to because I love the idea of like blacksmithing metal together. Like that would be totally something I would do. So definitely that. In a cozy game though, I don't want to be like a seamstress though. I don't want to be an artist. I don't know what I would be. I would love to be like a cute little garden girl or something, or maybe like a botanist that provides like the town with their plant stuff. I recently got a plant and it's kind of staying alive. I'm doing my best to keep it alive. It's been bad. I think I threw it off the balcony once and then we went downstairs to go retrieve it, but there was a bush right in front of my neighbors and they let their cat out onto the patio and the amount of meowing that cat was doing, the owner opened the door and I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to pick up my plant." They're like, "Oh, it's cool." Very weird experience. 10 out of 10. Don't do that again. Or would not do that again. Let's do some pink. But yeah, so that it would be fun to be a little botanist. Somebody draw me like a botanist. But practically probably with my skills, I kind of work in IT. I don't know if that would be a thing in a cozy game. If not, why not make it one? But definitely like a gardener, like a botanist. What is what's your favorite thing ever? Wait, what's your favorite thing you've made and why? Ooh, I've made a lot of fun things. I think my plushies might be like my favorite thing I've made. I love making plushies. They're a lot of fun. Honestly, I hate the sewing process, but I love the end result. So definitely that. Like as much as I love it. I think there was a plushie I made for my boyfriend for his birthday, or maybe it was Christmas, and that came out like really cute. And that was something, yeah, I really liked making for him. Okay, now you're pink. Um, what crafting trend do you secretly love or hate? I don't really keep up with crafting trends, cause yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say like art trend maybe, but even that I can't even tell you what's trending and what's not. I really need to be more in the crafting community, but yeah, I'm just really bad at keeping up with the latest trends and stuff. Okay, if you could design a dream craft kit, what would be in it? Ooh. What I would probably do is a craft kit that involves you to do like multiple things to make your end product. Like theoretically, I might, let's just say I want you to make a plushy clown, but the face has to be like made out of clay, and you would have to bake that, and then you would have to glue that onto the plush body. And then the hair maybe would be made out of yarn, and the body would be fabric. So I mean, it would be a very complicated thing. There might be some painting in it. That would be really fun. Maybe you design the face. Maybe you make an accessory with it. So I feel like it would teach you like a lot of different skills. So you can like try maybe like some needle felting. That would be fun. But like it would teach you different types of skills that you could use. Like, oh well, I tried clay making. I had fun with that. Let me deep dive it more into that. Or maybe I like needle felting. Let me try that. So I mean that's just kind of an example. I think I would like to do something like that. What is your favorite Pokemon and why? For maybe like a split second, like a month ago, I was doing like these different Pokemon fusions, and there's still a couple I gotta finish up because I had a couple people requesting like different Pokemon fusions. But I think it depends on the generation or whatever. But I really like Sylveon. Sylveon's cute. When it comes to the starters, I like Piplup. Piplup would be like my favorite one if I had to pick one out of all of them. Out of the OG3, I really like Bulbasaur. When I played Pokemon, whatever, I really liked playing with Bulbasaur and I named him Lettuce. He is really cute. But yeah, definitely I love Sylveon. I love all the evolutions. I know that's probably overrated, but I don't care. I think they're super cute. And I'm just gonna, keep on loving them. I don't know how to make the tail. Probably another favorite because yesterday for DreamHack I went as Mimikyu and that was a really fun costume. So also Mimikyu. That's a very cute Pokemon. What song or playlist gets you in the crafting zone? I don't have a specific song or genre. Honestly, if I've just been like replaying a song over and over again, I'm just probably gonna play that while I'm crafting or doing chores or whatever the case is. So definitely that. My song now is probably Brazil by Declan. That's been like early summery song. I also like to listen to music that is kind of giving me the vibe of what that season's gonna be. So right now I'm like listening to my summer music playlist, which has like, upbeat older music, like Walking on Sunshine, some EDM music, very like chill vibes type music. So, that kind of stuff. I also find that country music gives me like summer vibes. Not that I'm really a country music player, but now I have a country music playlist. It's not many songs, but still very fun. If you had to live in a fictional world, which one would you choose? Um, I don't think I've thought that one through a whole ton. What is a fictional world I would want to go to? I used to be obsessed with the Powerpuff Girls. I like that one. Maybe the Powerpuff Girls. Maybe I'd be like a Powerpuff Girl. I always thought too about me being like in the Naruto world too. So maybe I don't know, Naruto or Powerpuff Girl world. Hopefully, I would get like chakra powers or something, or Powerpuff Girl powers. I could be like the lost sister of the OG3. Uh, how? What is your proudest YouTube moment so far? Actually hitting over 1,000 subscribers. That was fun, and we're kind of close-ish. We're like 400 off, a little closer to probably 300 off from hitting that 2,000 subscriber mark. That would be cool if we could hit 2,000 subscriber this year. I'm not setting YouTube goals anymore of like, oh, how many subscribers do you want to hit by the end of the year? I'm just like, you want to subscribe to me, subscribe to me. We're just here to vibe. We're here to chill. It's whatever. No pressure. I just like creating content creation, or I like content creating. And it's not like I'm trying to get this to be my source of income because I have a full-time job. And I feel like my boss would kill me if I quit to go do this stuff. But, you know, I know a lot of people try to make it big out there. They're like, oh, I want to make it big. I want to get into it for the money. And it's like a get rich, a get rich quick scheme or whatever. And some people do it, but, you know, it's very hard to get into and whatever. But I think as long as you're kind of into it for enjoying the content creation and the whole process, I'm like, go for it. There's a lot of skills you get out of doing this. So definitely something, you know, in terms of videos, some of the videos that I didn't think that would get big kind of blew up, like my Woobles video and me opening up my dolls from Hextian. That was kind of a surprise. I was like, didn't think that would take off, but it did. So thank you for watching if you watched that video. Um, Let me see. What do you do when a project completely flops? I just move on. Depending on what it is, if I filmed a whole like my Anya cosplay put together, I pretty much filmed the whole thing and cosplay failed. I have it in my closet. What I am going to do with some of that footage is actually just make like a cameo in my vlog saying, "Hey, I worked on this, then my cat destroyed it," you know, and move on. There's nothing you can do. Sometimes you could try to salvage it, but sometimes it's just eh. Just like figure out like what mistakes you or like just figure out like what mistakes you you had from the project and figure out like how you can move on from there is probably your best bet. What is your current creative obsession, like theme, color, or aesthetic? Currently, this really cute color palette that I call Lovebot, it is going to be used, like I said, in an upcoming game jam because I just love these colors so much. They're so pretty. I really do like galaxy stuff as well. That's kind of a fun color palette. There was another one too, and it's gonna be kind of hard for me to like show you guys, but it's like at the convention yesterday, they had like I can't really see it, but like these neon colors are like super pretty. So definitely that. I don't know how well the camera picked that up, but definitely those colors I am obsessed with, and I want to use that like in a future game or artwork piece. Have you ever stayed up all night to finish a craft project? Oh, all the time. Like if I think the first time I ever, no, that's a lie. Let's say the first time I ever pulled an all-nighter for a craft project was probably the Hatsune Miku duct tape cosplay I did. But the time after that I vividly remember was my first time ever making a plushie. So for my homestucks out there, I made my boyfriend a uh, a scale mate that I was trying to figure out how to sew. I was taking sewing classes and I wasn't too great at sewing plushies. And I stayed up the entire night working on that for him, and he was so happy. I think we still have it somewhere in our apartment. But yeah, that was something that I know that he definitely liked. And like I said, definitely stayed up all night for that. But if it's something I know I gotta like get done, I have a problem with procrastinating, so I will wait till the absolute last minute. And I'm like, if that results in me having to stay up all night, I will do that if I have to. There's a will, there's a way. What is your dream destination for a cozy vacation? I feel like cozy is associated with nature with like cabins and like woods. And as much as I would like to do like a fun little thing doing that or even going to a beach, I hate the outdoors. So honestly, a cozy little vacation is just staying home and not doing anything. It's cozy. Or maybe like a cute little place with like a fireplace. I don't know. I feel like I don't really know what kind of vacation I'd want to do, but you know, I don't know, just somewhere I can like cozy up with my boyfriend and just chill there. That would be kind of nice. What would your crafting mascot be? So I'm in the middle of being obsessed with cows, cats, and sharks, but probably a cat. That's kind of the mascot for my channel. Originally, it was supposed to be a calico cat, and I'm like, wait, I don't own a calico cat. I own a cat, so like a tuxedo cat. So probably a tuxedo cat, which is the cat I call my son, Axe. He's a pain in the butt, but I love him. Um, If you could give yourself advice, if you could give your past self advice on starting YouTube, what would it be? So I actually started YouTube when I think my account's been around since May 2009, and I was 8 years old then. And I'd probably tell myself, well, first of all, stay off of YouTube because you're too young for that. But, I would probably push myself to actually do YouTube from a younger age and actually stick with it because, I'd probably be a little bit more successful now. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I posted all sorts of stuff, but I'd be like, oh, don't be afraid to, film yourself and be out there and, so probably something, yeah, it's probably what I would have told myself is stick with it. It's not that bad, I used to post quite a lot as a kid, and a lot of my content has been taken down because I don't want you guys to see it now. It's kind of embarrassing. I did post some of the cringe stuff back up just because, nostalgia. And I believe that's all my questions I have so far. Let me see if I can get some more. Man, I've been going at this for 40 minutes. It's a little sad while I'm sitting here streaming and nobody's watching me. I would love to have like people to like talk with in the chat and people that just aren't just like my day-to-day friends. I just want people to talk to and just be like, "Oh my God, you're watching me!" But, that'll be someday, I hope. Okay, I got more question. Do you prefer messy crafting or super organized setups? Personally, I don't mind if my setup is messy, but when I'm filming, I try to make sure it's cleaned up for you guys so you guys can actually focus on me and not the messy setup. Because I kind of feel like that your setup just kind of says a lot about you. So definitely like be careful like what you got in the background and stuff like that because that will say a lot about you. But sometimes it just happens or I just want to film a video, so please don't mind me. But in general, I'm probably like early messy crafter, and when I'm working on a project, stuff gets everywhere, and I'm like, oh, I'll clean this up later, which later turns into like a month. What craft supplies you hoard? What's the craft supplies you hoard but rarely use? Yarn. I find like pretty yarn. I'm like, I'm gonna use this for XYZ project, or I might use a little bit of yarn for like a singular project and then just never use it again. And then it just sits there. And my boyfriend says I'm not allowed to buy any more yarn until I use up my current stock, but that's what all boyfriends say, right? What is your favorite color palette to work with? Right now is this rainbow set that I'm using. Because it's really cute, playful, and very dreamy. Like, I just love the colors. If you could master one new crafting skill overnight, what would it be? Ooh, woodworking. It's not really a craft, but I would love to woodwork. How do you get over creative blocks? I unfortunately don't have those block problems. However, I just don't feel like I have enough hours in a day to be able to do all the projects I want to, so that's probably my big problem. And the way how I handle that is I tell myself that I will get to these things someday and then just work on them as I'm ready to work on them. It's just a shame that sometimes if it's like a themed holiday project, I'm like, well, I'll have to do this next year, and it sucks, but it is what it is. One thing I have been trying to do is try to film things in advance, and I did do that during a convention time, like a month and a half ago, and I still haven't edited or recorded like the voiceover stuff for that, so my mistake. I've been really, I've been really sucked into the whole doing art stuff. What's your favorite project you've made using your Cricut? Ooh, definitely these shadow boxes. I have a couple videos on my channel of me like doing stuff with them. And I really like doing stuff with those. So they're like different roses you can make out of cardstock and turn them so it's pretty much like I don't know how to explain it, you'll have to Google it, but they look like these rose things and they're super pretty. Actually, I have one up on the wall. Actually, I can't get that because Brenton stuck that on the wall. Well, anyway, pretty much you make these paper roses and you can put them into shapes or just cover the whole background in the shadow box with these things, and then you can put like a person's name on it or whatever. In my case, I put Megan with like a little heart, and then Brenton, and then I put our cute little anniversary date on that. So that's definitely a fun thing I've done with my with the Cricut. It's really easy. It's a little time consuming, but definitely something you can just do like sitting at home. What's your most used Procreate brush? Well, I actually have my own little brushes here. So the brushes I have is, this is my sketching pen, which is just like a regular, I can click that, studio pen. It just doesn't have any, what do you call it? Stabilization to it versus that one. Because it's, click little pen brush. I wasn't a huge fan of, using like pencil stuff for line art. I don't know. My boyfriend prefers to use the pencil. I do not. For a while, I was using like this dry ink brush thing here because I really liked how like doodly that was looking. But then, I don't know. I used the round brush for coloring, as you guys have been watching me do. The soft brush I like to use sometimes. I don't know how often I don't know why that's so low. I feel like I use that more for when I'm erasing stuff, is more that. The studio line brush is what I have actually been using for the last couple pieces I've been doing, just because I like how clean that looks. Another one I've been messing with is what I call the fountain pen. I actually watched a TikToker that created like this line pen that like doesn't have this pointy thing that this other one does, like how these things have little points at the ends of them. So I just wanted like a fun little line brush that just, solid at the ends and not pointy. Then we have the sketching line pen thing. I left that there for my boyfriend because I know he likes to use that. But yeah, I got my own little set right here. We're gonna go back to using that. So yeah, those are my most used like Procreate brushes. Don't ask me for my formulas or what I'm doing. I'm just winging it to figure out what I like and what I don't like. Are you a start one project at a time person or 10 projects in progress person? Both. I feel like when I'm working on a YouTube video, it's like a one project at a time type deal because I don't have the mental capacity to like bounce back and forth. But when it comes to like in real life and I'm working on different projects, definitely the 10 projects in progress. Unfortunately, half of them never get finished, but that's me. What crafting trends are you avoiding or loving right now? I don't know. I don't follow craft trends. What inspired your channel name? So I really like cats. I'll give you guys some history about me. So in high school and middle school, I was known as like the weird girl that like meowed at her teachers and her classmates, but people thought I wanted to be a cat. I did not want to be a cat. I just like cats. It was kind of like the equivalency of like a horse girl, I guess. It was just like a girl that just, the thing was that I couldn't like recite cat facts or whatever. Like I feel like horse girls would do that. I don't know if we actually had any horse girls at my school, but you get the concept. But yeah, so I felt like I was like the equivalency of that. I didn't really wear cat ears to school. I just meowed at my teachers. Like that was really it to that extent. I need a good palette. So because of that obsession of with cats, I would just, kind of carry it on into my adulthood, which was fine. I really like cats. I mean, obviously I have a cat. I convinced my boyfriend that we should get a cat. And well, we had him before then, but obviously the cat was gonna move in with us when we moved out of our parents. So the Meow Maid is, I make a lot of stuff like videos and things, so Meow Maid, because cat things I like, made because I like to make things, whether like I have Meow Maid vlogs because I make vlogs, Meow Maid crafts because I make crafts, and then the crafting part is because I like to do crafts. I don't want to like stick to just one craft because I'm all over the place with the type of crafts I like to do. So hence Meow Maid. Oh, you coming to join me?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Internet, this is my lovely boyfriend.
Hello.
What you doing?
What you doing?
Nothing.
Get the cat ready and
Okay. Gonna do a quick intermission. Oops. So I think I'm gonna be calling it a night. I'll probably finish this art piece tomorrow, but this is what we're working with. I think it's looking kind of cool. It's really giving me like Sally vibes from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that's what she's called with her dress or whatever you call that. But yeah, we'll finish this tomorrow and I'll do more of a Q&A stuff with you guys. And I realized I was staring at this and not you guys, so I'm so sorry. Let me repeat that. So I'm probably going to finish this piece up tomorrow. I do need to go to bed because I have to get up for work because full-time job vibes. But yeah, so that is going to conclude this live stream. If anybody hopped on, thank you for joining me. I currently have 0 viewers. Very sad. So hopefully I'll get somebody else to join me tomorrow and I'll actually have a conversation with them. So have a good night, guys. Bye.